Flood watch for Monmouth and most of New Jersey. Actually, all of it. The 382 is not going to be well.
The following is a flood watch statement. Flood watch in effect from Tuesday afternoon.
Which one's that?
Wednesday afternoon. What
Oh.
flooding caused by excessive rainfall is possible? Where portions of Delaware, including the following areas: Delaware beaches, inland Sussex, Kent and Newcastle, northeast Maryland, including the following areas: Caroline, Kent, Maryland, Queen Anne's, and Talbot, New Jersey, including the following areas: Atlantic, coastal Cape May, Camden, Cape May, coastal Atlantic, coastal Ocean, Cumberland, eastern Monmouth, Gloucester, Hunterdon, Mercer, Middlesex, Morris, northwestern Burlington, Ocean, Salem, Somerset, southeastern Burlington, Sussex, Warren and western Monmouth, and Pennsylvania, including the following areas: Berks, Carbon, Delaware.
We might have a double header because of how large this thing is.
Lower Bucks, Monroe, Northampton, Philadelphia, Upper Bucks, western Chester, and western Montgomery. When, from Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday
PHI flood
afternoon,
watch.
impacts, excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Area creeks and streams are running high to flood with more heavy rain. Additional details: forecast rainfall for Tuesday into Wednesday has widespread total amounts of 2 to 3 inches with localized amounts of 4 inches possible. The ground remains quite saturated following multiple rounds of heavy rainfall over the last few weeks. A period of higher hourly rainfall rates is possible during the overnight hours Tuesday night, which would enhance the potential risk for flooding, particularly in urban areas. Runoff due to snowmelt from this past weekend's storm as well as tidal inundation in coastal areas may also exacerbate any flooding due to heavy rainfall. http://weather.gov/safety/flood. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should
This
be
is
prepared
a 13-hour flood watch.
North Fisheries announces a voluntary vessel speed reduction zone under the right whale.
Success!
Is in effect southeast of New York through January 13, 2024, to protect right whales. All mariners and recreational boaters are requested to ride around this area or
Another watch!
Where portions of northeast New Jersey, including the following areas: eastern Bergen, eastern Essex, eastern Passaic, eastern Union, Hudson, western Bergen, western Essex, western Passaic, and western Union, and southeast New York, including the following
Which one is
areas:
that?
Orange and Rockland. When, from Tuesday evening through Wednesday afternoon. Impacts: excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Additional details: a strong storm system will impact the area Tuesday night into Wednesday with a likelihood of heavy rainfall. Rainfall amounts of 2 to 3 inches with localized higher amounts are possible during this time. This, combined with a snowbank across portions of the watch area along with saturated grounds, will lead to rapid runoff into area rivers and streams. There is good chance for widespread flooding. http://weather.gov/safety/flood. You should monitor later forecasts and be alert for possible flood warnings. Those living in areas prone to flooding should be prepared to take action should flooding develop. At 3 p.m. at Bell. High wind warning in effect from 6 p.m. Tuesday to 6 a.m. Wednesday. What? Southeast winds 25 to 35 miles per hour.
Alright, this is the high wind warning.
60 miles per hour expected. Where? Northern New London, southern Fairfield, southern New Haven.
Guess you missed the high wind warning, but that's fine.
New London counties. When? From 6 p.m. Tuesday to 6 a.m. Wednesday. Impacts: damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines.
Oh, the Acura went off. Oh, high wind warning for Monmouth County. That's bad.
Avoid being outside in forested areas around trees and branches. If possible, remain in the lower levels of your home during the windstorm and avoid windows.
Ah. Oh, it's coastal.
For the following counties in New Jersey, Mercer and northwestern Burlington. What? 1 to 3 feet of inundation above ground level expected in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways. Where? In New Jersey, Mercer, Gloucester, Camden, and northwestern Burlington. In Pennsylvania, Delaware, Philadelphia, and Lower Bucks. When? From 9 p.m. Tuesday to 4 a.m.
PHI flash coastal.
At this level, widespread road
13-hour
occurs
coastal
along
flood
tidal
warning.
waterways. Some roads become impassable. Minor damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. Additional details. Tidal flooding could be significantly enhanced by an influx of freshwater runoff due to heavy rain Tuesday night. Additional minor flooding is possible as a result during Wednesday's high tide cycle. Take the necessary actions to protect flood-prone property. If travel is required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth. Here is the official National Weather Service forecast for the coastal waters of northern and central New Jersey, issued at 11 p.m. Monday, January 8th. Tonight, northwest winds around 5 knots, becoming northeast after midnight, then becoming southeast late. This approaches a flood of alert. Where? Passaic River above Singak. When? From Wednesday afternoon until further notice. Impacts at 8.5 feet. Portions of the Wayne Town Center parking lot began to flood. Hobson Avenue and Riverlong Drive and Wing began to flood. Fairfield Road, Fayette Avenue, and Riverside Road in Wing can flood as water backs up the Prumpton River. Lincoln Boulevard in Lincoln Park can also flood due to backwater up the Prumpton River. The Pequannock River Park also floods. At 9.0 feet, Two Bridges Road in Fairfield is subject to closures. At 9.5 feet, Camp Lane and Marginal Road in Fairfield begins to flood. At 10.0 feet, Two Bridges Road in Fairfield begins to flood. Finns Drive, Fiesta Drive, and Market Street in Wayne are all susceptible to flooding. Williams Street, Lewis Street, and Zelliff Avenue in Little Falls can begin to flood. Portions of Lincoln Park become impassable. The Meadows Golf Club in Lincoln Park floods. At 11.0 feet, Little Falls Road in Fairfield floods. Flooding
This
increases
is
across the Singak section of
the
Little
worst
Falls.
warning and flood warning I've ever
At
heard.
12.0 feet, Willowbrook Boulevard begins to flood.
12?
The Route 46 ramp to access the Willowbrook Mall can flood as the Nopunk Brook backs up. Additional details. At 2:45 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 5.0 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage early tomorrow afternoon and continue rising to a crest of 11.7 feet early Friday morning.
Shut up. No
Flood
way.
stage is 8.5 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 11.5 feet on September 3rd, 2021. http://w.
No way. 2-minute limit. Doubleheader. Another flood warning.
Flood warning in effect from Wednesday afternoon until further notice. What? Major flooding is forecast. Where? Passaic River at Little Falls. When? From Wednesday afternoon until further notice. Impacts at 5.5 feet. The lower end of East Holzman Street in Patterson, closest to the river, begins to flood. At 6.0 feet, portions of Hoffman Grove in Wayne sustain some nuisance flooding. At 6.5 feet, low-lying areas in the vicinity of Two Bridges in Wayne are flooded. The lower end of Bergen Street in Patterson, closest to the river, begins to flood. At 7.0 feet, minor flooding begins in Lincoln Park, Wayne, and Little Falls. At 8.0 feet, flooding occurs in the Old Wayne area of Wayne. The Recycling Center and Wageraw Road Ball Field Complex in Hawthorne begins to experience flooding. At 8.5 feet, widespread flooding occurs in Fairfield. At 9.0 feet, widespread flooding occurs throughout Lincoln Park and Wayne with many evacuations. In Patterson, portions of River Street, Presidential Boulevard, Bridge Street, Tyler Street, Totowa Avenue, and McLean Boulevard are
The
flooded.
worst thing you get up here during
At
flood warning.
9.5 feet, Route 46
Except
in
flood
Wayne
warning.
is subject to closures. Riverside Drive in Wayne floods. Flooding in Little Falls worsens as homes on Williams Street and Zelliff Avenue take on water. Arch Street and Temple Street bridges in Patterson are subject to closures. Also in Patterson, portions of Watson Street, Hillman Street, Bergen Street, East Holtzman Street, North 1st Street, 5th Avenue, 6th Avenue, and Goodwin Street are also subject to closures due to flooding. At 10.0 feet, Waggerall Road in Hawthorne is closed. Homes and businesses in Hawthorne, directly along the river, begin to flood. Water begins to flow over the Temple Street Bridge in Patterson. At 10...
Another 2-minute limit. Triple header. No way. No way. Triple header. This is the third triple header on the channel, guys.
Flood warning in effect from Wednesday morning until further notice. What minor flooding is forecast? Where? Wanacue River at Wanacue Dam. When? From Wednesday morning until further notice. Impacts. At 5.0 feet, open adjacent land begins to flood. Waters rise around Wilderness Island Park. At 6.0 feet, John East. Murren Park begins to flood. Hirschfield Park floods. The athletic fields begin to fill with water. Floods. At 7.0 feet, Back Beach Park, Indiana, Wanacue begins to flood. The light industrial area of Lakeside Avenue in Pompton Lakes floods. VFWA in Pompton Lakes begins to flood. Backyards flood on Henderson Court and Hill Court in Pompton Lakes. At 8.0 feet, the athletic fields at Back Beach Park, Indiana, Wanacue flood. Flooding expands across the light industrial area of Lakeside Avenue in Pompton Lakes. Flooding also expands across VFWA in Pompton Lakes. Backyard flooding worsens on Henderson Court and Hill Court in Pompton Lakes. Basement flooding is possible. Additional details, at 3:10 p.m. Tuesday the stage was 2.3 feet. Forecast, the river is expected to rise above flood stage late tomorrow morning and continue rising to a crest of 7.8 feet early Thursday morning. Flood stage is 6.0 feet. Flood history, this crest compares to a previous crest of 7.9 feet on August 29, 2011. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood.
Quad header. Oh my god. Quad header. Quadruple header.
Flood warning in effect from Wednesday morning to early Friday afternoon. What minor flooding is forecast? Where? The Kleinick River below McCoppin Dam. When? From Wednesday morning to early Friday afternoon. Impacts. At 5.5 feet, road closures begin in both Butler and Bloomingdale due to flooding. At 6.5 feet, both main streets in Butler and Bloomingdale flood. Several commercial properties are also flooded. The Hamburg Turnpike experiences significant flooding. Flooding expands to the east side of Bloomingdale. Sloan Park is flooded. Additional details, at 3:25 p.m. Tuesday the stage was 3.6 feet. Forecast, the river is expected to rise above...
Oh! Let the live show begin. Let the show begin.
What? Moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Millstone River at Blackwell Mills. When? From late tonight to early Friday morning. Impacts. At 6.0 feet, the Bridgetown Causeway is closed due to flooding.
What? 5-header?
Several more causeways are closed due to flooding. At 9...
You gotta be kidding. A 5-header. A 5-header. Whatever it's called, it's a 5-header.
River Street in Millstone. Flood warning in effect from late tonight to late Friday morning. What minor flooding is forecast?
This is the...
Where? Rockaway River at Boonton below RESVR. Wind from late tonight to late Friday morning. Impacts at 6.0 feet. Flooding occurs on Vale Road in Montville. The road heading into Parsippany is subject to closures. At 7.7 feet, Change Bridge Road in Montville, north of Woodmont Road and south of Stiles Lane, floods. River Road in Montville floods near Condorso's Garden Center. Both roads are closed. Additional details, at 3 p.m. Tuesday the stage was 3.2 feet. Forecast, the river is expected to rise above flood stage late tonight to a crest of 6.9 feet tomorrow evening. It will then fall below flood stage early Friday morning. Flood stage is 5.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to the previous crest of 6.9 feet on March 7th, 2011. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood.
Sextuple header! No way! Let me get. Oh, I accidentally stopped recording. That's okay. No way! Sextuple header. This is insane.
Where Millstone River at Blackwell's Mills. Wind from late tonight to early Friday morning. Impacts at 6.0 feet. The Bridgetown Causeway is closed due to flooding. At 7.0 feet.
KIH is going off.
For the following counties: Cecil, Maryland. What? 2 to 3 feet of inundation above ground level expected in low-lying areas due to tidal flooding. Where? Shoreline and Cecil counties. When? From 7 p.m. this evening to 1 p.m. Wednesday, especially around the time of high tide. Impact at 6.5 feet. Additional roadways near the tidal portions of the Elk River, Bohemia River, Back Creek, and other tidal tributaries begin to flood. Some damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. At 6.0 feet, widespread shoreline inundation occurs near Charlestown. Additional details, tides up to 6 feet above normal.
It's again! Shut up!
Where? North Branch Raritan River at Raritan. When? From this evening to tomorrow evening. Coastal flood advisory.
It finally ended. Evacuation?
At 3:50 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 3.3 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage late this evening to a crest of 12.8 feet tomorrow morning.
12? What the hell?
Fall below flood stage early tomorrow afternoon. Flood stage of 10.
May God be on whoever is in the path of the storm side. This is the worst case scenario.
1955.
This is the rarest event. Rare event ongoing, guys. This is a once in a lifetime, guys.
Here is the regional weather forecast. For the beaches of northeast New Jersey, flood watch remains in.
Alright, let me count the... It doesn't stop! It does not stop!
From late tonight to early Thursday morning. West, moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Raritan River at Manville. When? From late tonight to early Thursday morning. Impacts at 11.0 feet. At this level, inundation begins in Dukes Park in Manville. At 12.0 feet, cautionary action stage is reached. Roads and trail flood within Dukes Park. At 13.0 feet, Southside Avenue in Somerville floods. At 15.0 feet, Dukes Parkway begins to flood in Hillsborough. At 16.0 feet, Lincoln Avenue in the Lost Valley section of Manville floods. At 17.0 feet, street and roadway flooding increases across the Manville area. The Van Betten Bridge and Main Street in Manville are flooded, as well as 5th Street in Somerville. The amount of flooding can vary from event to event and can be affected by the amount of water in the millstone.
Well,
18.0 feet, East Dukes
we might be at EAS 200.
in Manville are flooded. Roads throughout the area are closed due to high water. The amount of flooding can vary from event to event. Flood warning in effect from
Yeah, we're at EAS 200 already.
Moderate flooding is forecast. North Branch, Raritan River,
We hit 200. We're at like what? We were at like. Actually, we might be at like 198. I'll check.
Minor flooding begins upstream on Black River Road. At 10.0 feet, flooding occurs along Old York Road in North Branch Village. 13.0 feet, the first evacuations begin in village of North Branch at Route 28 in Avenue. 14.0 feet. Additional details. 3:15 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 3.3 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage length this evening to a crest of 12.8 feet tomorrow morning. It will then fall below flood stage early tomorrow afternoon. Flood stage is 10.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares...
Doubleheader.
Late tonight to Thursday morning. What? Moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Raritan River and Bound Brook. When? From late tonight to Thursday. Impacts.
You gotta be kidding me. Why is there so many alerts?
Low areas are protected by levees and the flood wall. Without the levees, or if there is a breach in the levees, minor flooding will occur. At 30.0 feet, Main Street is protected by flat valve sluice gates. This level triggers the gate closures to protect Main Street. At 33.0 feet,
Oh, WR30 hasn't gone off in a while. Let me see if there's gate on and off
station
switch
operations
on,
become
bro.
critical at this stage for the continued protection of the bureau. Additional details. At 3:15 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 19.1 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage late tonight to a crest of 32.0 feet early tomorrow afternoon. It will then fall below flood stage early Thursday morning. Flood stage is 28.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 32.0 feet on July 7, 1984. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood. Water in the Millstone. At 18.0 feet, East Dukes Parkway and several bridges in Manville are flooded. The regional weather.
It's a doubleheader.
15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusts up to 40 miles per hour in the afternoon. Chance of rain 40%. Wednesday night, mostly clear in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. Flood warning in effect from those in the lower 30s. West 15 to 25 miles.
Stop yapping.
35 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny tonight to Thursday. Highs in the upper 50s. Southwest 0.0 feet miles per hour. Low areas are protected by levees and the flood wall. Without the levees, or if there is a breach in the levees, minor flooding will occur. At 30.0 feet, Main Street is protected by flat valve sluice gates. This level triggers the gate closures to protect Main Street. At 33.0 feet, a large portion of Bound Brook is...
Next one I'm not recording because I want to celebrate EAS 200.
Station operations become critical at this stage for the continued protection of the borough. Additional details.
We're getting a flash flood emergency today.
Was 19.1 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage late tonight to a crest of 32.0 feet.
I feel it. I have a feeling. This is way worse than, what's that event? June 7th or whatever it was. Almost
You know I'ma slide it. Would you ride, baby? Would you ride with me? Slide it. Would you ride, baby? Would you ride for me? She know what I like. Get me in a twilight, headed to the high rise, cruising like eyes wide shut, but I slide in it like a...
What? Moderate flooding is forecast. Where? At Sunken Creek and Triton. When? From this evening to early tomorrow afternoon. Impacts at 6.5 feet at Sunken Park floods. George Page Park floods. Minor Street flooding in Triton. At 9.0 feet, Mulberry Street begins to flood. At 10.0
This is a moment in history. Take a picture.
possible. Additional details at 3:50 p.m.
Come a long way,
Tuesday,
guys.
4.0 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage late this evening to a crest of 9.5 feet just after midnight tonight. It will then fall below flood stage tomorrow morning. Flood stage is 8.5 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 9.4 feet on March 14, 2010. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood. The current time
Wow. EAS 200. I'm so happy, guys. Let's go, bro.
The following is a flood watch statement.
It may sound like I'm not happy, but
Wednesday afternoon.
dang, bro.
Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is
Yes.
possible. Where? Oceans, New Jersey, including the following areas: Somerset,
Non-thunderstorm wind
the
damage.
following areas: Berks, Harbor, Eastern Chester, Eastern Montgomery, Lehigh, Monroe, Northampton, Upper Bucks, Western Chester, and Western Montgomery. When? Through Wednesday afternoon.
Was about to make a spotter network report.
Flood warning in effect from this evening to late tomorrow evening. What? Minor flooding is forecast. Where? South Branch Raritan River at Stanton. When? From this evening to late tomorrow evening. Impacts. At 5.0 feet, minor lowland flooding downstream of Greenwich. At 8.0 feet, right bank and approach to bridge is flooded. At 10.0 feet, houses downstream begin to take on water. Additional details. At 4:15 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 3.0 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage late this evening to a crest of 9.8 feet tomorrow morning.
ER50 fell.
It will then fall below flood stage tomorrow afternoon. Flood stage is 8.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 9.8 feet on December 28, 2023. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood.
Let's go report that. Let's go get that spotter network with me.
The following is a flood watch statement. Flood watch remains in effect through Wednesday afternoon.
Let's go get the shoes on and record the spotter network. 201.
From this evening to late tomorrow morning. Impact at 9.0 feet. Flooding begins in fields and floodplain adjacent to the river. At 11.0 feet, flooding begins in the town of Christiana. East Main Street, Del 7 begins to flood, as does Water Street. Meadow Road near Newcastle Airport is subject to flooding. Barksdale Road near Cashew Mill Road is also subject to flooding, as are residential backyards. At 11.5 feet, portions of Durham Heights near Newcastle Airport begin to flood, including Don Avenue. Airport Road at the Newcastle Airport begins to flood as the Christina River backs up the Nunchuck Creek. Walther Road in the Beverly also floods. Flooding also occurs around Smalley's Pond Dam in Christiana. At 12.0 feet, significant flooding occurs on Meadow Road in Christiana. Roads are closed. Homes are flooded. Salem Church Road and Raybold Road floods in Christiana also flood and are subject to closures. Residential backyards can flood in this area. Flooding also occurs north on West Chestnut Road and South College Avenue. At 12.5 feet, evacuations are possible in Durham Heights. Airport Road at the Newcastle Airport floods is closed. Businesses are flooded. Flooding increases in Newark. Flooding also increases on Barksdale Road and can extend on Cashew Mill Road. Businesses on South College Avenue take on water. At 13.0 feet, flooding increases. Evacuations also increase in the towns of Newark and Christiana. Roads become impassable.
Wait, Newark?
Additional details at 6:15 p.m. Tuesday. The stage was 9.2 feet rising.
We're about to see the radios go off.
Flood stage this evening to
The drill.
forecast. flood warning in effect until 12:30 a.m. Wednesday. What flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected? Where portions of New Jersey, including the following counties: Hunterdon, Mercer, Middlesex, Morris, Somerset.
We're about to see this go again. It's gonna be a double header.
Until 12:30 a.m. Wednesday. Flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations is imminent or occurring tomorrow morning. Additional details at 6:26 p.m. Flood stage is 8.0 is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the warned area. Between 0.5 and 1.5 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 3 inches are possible in the warned area. Some locations that experience flooding include what flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected. Somerset, where portions of New Jersey, South Brunswick counties, North Brunswick, Forks, Middlesex, and Princeton. http://www.weather.gov/safety/ flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Please report observed flooding to local emergency services or law enforcement and request they pass this information to the National Weather Service when you can do so safely. Somerset and Warren and Pennsylvania, including the following counties: Bucks, Lehigh, and Northampton. Flood warning at 12:30 a.m. Flooding is occurring and major flooding is forecast.
What?
Where? East Branch, Brandywine Creek below Downingtown. When? From this evening to early tomorrow afternoon. Impact at 6.0 feet, open adjacent land next to the creek floods. At 8.0 feet, downwind Fort Road begins to flood. At 9.0 feet, high water on the Brandywine sinks backwater of Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek floods inundating parks and the Downingtown Little League fields. At 11.0 feet, Jefferson Avenue in Downingtown floods. Business Route 30 and Pennsylvania Avenue also flood. At 12.0 feet, residential basements flood along Jefferson Avenue. At 13.0 feet, Route 30 in Downingtown is closed due to flooding. Route 322 Brandywine Avenue is closed between Business 30 and Booth Road due to flooding. Businesses along Business Route 30 between the creek and Downing Avenue take on water. Additional details at 6:45 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 7.1 feet and rising. Recent activity, the maximum river stage in the 24 hours ending at 6:45 p.m. Tuesday was 7.1 feet. Forecast, the river is expected to rise to a crest of 12.3 feet late this evening. It will then fall below flood stage tomorrow morning. Flood stage is 7.0 feet.
No, I'm getting killed. I'm getting killed. It's literally a bot. What? Got me down to 5 HP? This is the EAS 205.
What? Moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Chester Creek near.
Just leave this right here.
When? Evening to late tomorrow morning. Impact. At 7.0 feet, the creek floods adjacent open land. At 10.5 feet, flood damage adjacent to the creek begins in the city of Chester. At 11.5 feet, Parker and Curling Street flood. The 600 to 1300 blocks of Parker Street are subject to evacuations. The 1300, 1400 blocks of Curling Street are also subject to evacuations. At 12.5 feet, the Parker Manor section of Chester is subject to evacuations. At 13.0 feet, Chester Creek Road floods in Brookhaven Borough. Closures are possible between Dutton Mill Road and Bridgewater Road. Mount. Alvin Road between Middletown and Aston is closed due to flooding. At 14.0 feet, Chester Creek Road near West Milton Road floods. Additional details at 6:46 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 7.0 feet and rising. Forecast, the river will rise above flood stage this evening to 13.0 feet late this evening. It will then fall below flood stage just after midnight tonight to 2.9 feet and begin rising again tomorrow afternoon. It will rise to 3.1 feet tomorrow evening. It will then fall to 2.9 feet and begin rising again late tomorrow evening. It will then rise again but remain below flood stage. Flood stage is 8.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 12.2 feet on April 2nd, 2005. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood. Tomorrow morning. What? Moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Red Clay Creek at Wooddale. When? From this evening to tomorrow morning. Impact. At 5.5 feet, flooding begins in adjacent open fields. At 7.5 feet, Barley Mill Road begins to flood. Brandywine Springs Park floods. At 8.5 feet, flooding begins near Old Capitol Trail and Newport Road. Additional details. At 6:45 p.m. Tuesday, the stage was 5.4 feet and rising. Forecast. The river is expected to rise above flood stage this evening to a crest of 8.9 feet late this evening. It will then fall below flood stage just after midnight tonight. Flood stage is 7.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 9.0 feet on January 19th, 1996.
1996.
http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood.
Nope.
Flood warning in effect until 10:30 p.m. this evening. Replaces flood advisory. What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected. Where? A portion of northeast New Jersey, including the following counties: Bergen, Essex, Passaic, and Union. When? Until 10:30 p.m. Impacts: flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations is imminent or occurring. Streams continue to rise due to excess runoff from earlier rainfall. It will take several hours for all the water from these storms to work through local drainage systems in urban areas. Additional details at 8:40 p.m. Doppler radar indicated heavy rain. Flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the Warren area. Between 0.8 and 1.3 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible in the Warren area. Some locations that will experience flooding include Patterson, Passaic, Wayne, Plainfield, Bloomfield, Linden, Orange, Ridgewood, Summit, Milburn, Ramsey, Parkton Lakes, Caldwell, Hawthorne, Clark, Fairfield, Union, Clinton, East Orange, and Irvington. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Flood warning in effect until 11 p.m. this evening. Replaces flood advisory. What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected. Where? A portion of northeast New Jersey, including the following county: Passaic. When? Until 11 p.m. Impacts: flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations is imminent or occurring. Streams continue to rise due to excess runoff from earlier rainfall. Additional details at 8:45 p.m. Doppler radar indicated heavy rain. Flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in the Warren area. Between 0.5 and 1.5 inches of rain have fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible in the Warren area. Some locations that will experience flooding include West Milford, Ringwood, Bloomingdale, Upper Greenwood Lake, and Wanacue. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood turnaround. Don't drown when encountering flooded roads. Most flood deaths occur in vehicles. Be especially cautious at night when it is harder to recognize the dangers of flooding. Flood warning in effect.
Kill me.
Where? Shoreline and Cecil County. When? From 7 p.m. this evening to 1 p.m. Wednesday, especially around the time of high tide. Impacts at 6.5 feet. Additional roadways near the tidal portions of the Elk River, Bohemia River, Back Creek, and other tidal tributaries begin to flood. Some damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. At 6.0 feet, widespread shoreline inundation occurs near Charlestown. Additional details, tides up to 6 feet above normal. The next high tide at Charlestown is at 8:50 a.m. and 9:47 p.m.
Yeah, that is not like 12 miles an hour. That's like 20 or 30.
a.m. and 9:19 p.m. The next high tide at Chesapeake City is at 9:26 a.m. and 9:45 p.m. Take the necessary actions to protect flood-prone property. If travel is required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth. What? Flooding caused by...
Oh, snap! I hate this. Shut up!
The following is a coastal flood warning from the National Weather Service for the following counties in New Jersey. Coastal...
I'm turning off most of my radios, bro.
What? 1 to 2
Yep.
feet of inundation above ground level.
GG's
in
for
low
you.
areas near shorelines and tidal waterways.
GG's for you.
Where? Ocean and coastal...
GG's.
West
GG's.
until 3 p.m. Wednesday.
GG's.
Impacts. At this level, widespread roadway flooding occurs in coastal and bayside communities and along inland tidal waterways. Many roads become impassable. Some damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. Additional details. The highest water levels are expected across the back base later Wednesday morning into early afternoon, which will be delayed later than high tide on the ocean side on Wednesday. Take the necessary actions to protect flood-prone property. If
Party
travel
never
is
ends.
required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth.
Doubleheader, you gotta be kidding me. Wait, oh, it's going on. Flood. CFW for Monmouth. I'm turning all this off. I'm shutting all that off. Which one's yakking like that? Oh.
Northwestern Burlington. In Pennsylvania, Delaware, Philadelphia, and Lower Bucks. When? Until 3 p.m. Wednesday. Impacts. At this level, flooding may become...
Alright, turn off.
Structural damage along with widespread roadway flooding near tidal waterways. Some locations may become isolated by the flood waters. Is expected tonight, but with continued runoff from heavy rain on Wednesday, the next high tide cycle Wednesday afternoon will bring additional moderate to possibly near major flooding. Actions to protect flood-prone property. If travel is required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth.
I'm turning.
What? Flooding caused by excessive rainfall continues. Where? A portion of northeast New Jersey.
I'm turning you off.
You have women right there.
I know.
12:30 a.m. Impacts. Flooding of rivers, streams, and other low-lying flood-prone locations. A huge success runoff from earlier rain.
I'm turning off the CL100 too, bro. I'm done with this whole thing, bro. I'm actually finished. And it's gonna go off again, are you kidding me?
In Pennsylvania, Delaware, Lower Bucks, and Philadelphia. What? Flood warning now in effect from this evening to tomorrow afternoon. What? Minor flooding is occurring and moderate flooding is forecast. Where? Human Creek and Greaterford. When? From this evening to tomorrow afternoon. Impacts at 8.0 feet. Park Avenue in Troinksville is flooded. The Perkiomen Trail is flooded in Perkiomen Township at Plank Road and Route 113. At 11.0 feet, Greaterford Road and Penitentiary Bridge are closed due to flooding. At 12.0 feet, portions of Central Perkiomen Park in Collegeville are flooded. Flood waters expand onto and to the west of First Avenue in Collegeville. At 13.0 feet, First Avenue in Collegeville becomes impassable. At 14.0 feet, storm sewers back up in Collegeville and flood Route 29. At 15.0 feet, East Main Street in Collegeville floods. At 16.0
I'm gonna turn this off
feet,
after because I'm
Collegeville
honestly done
on
with the
Route
alerts.
29 between East 9th Avenue and East Main Street begin to take on water. Additional details.
Today was definitely a verifier.
Stage was 11.3 feet. Recent activity. The maximum river stage in the 24 hours ending at 10:01 p.m. Tuesday was 11.3 feet. Forecast. The river is expected to rise to a crest of 15.1 feet tomorrow morning. It will then fall below flood stage late tomorrow morning. Flood stage is 11.0 feet. Flood history. This crest compares to a previous crest of 15.1 feet on July 7, 1984. http://www.weather.gov/safety/flood. What? Flooding caused by excessive...
Oh!
For the following counties in New Jersey, coastal ocean and inland ocean. What? Up to 1 foot of inundation above ground level in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways. Where? Ocean and coastal ocean. When? Until 10 p.m. this evening. Impact. Numerous roads may be closed. Low-lying property including homes, businesses, and some critical infrastructure will be inundated. Some shoreline erosion will occur. Additional details. While no additional flooding is expected on the ocean front, flooding is expected to linger into this evening on back bays, especially by 9 to 10. Do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth.
We're about to be adding a black and silver to this collection. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
1 to 2 feet of inundation above ground level possible in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways. Where? Ocean and coastal ocean. When? For the coastal flood warning until 10 p.m. this evening. For the coastal flood watch from Saturday morning through Saturday evening. Impacts. At this level, widespread roadway flooding occurs in coastal and bayside communities and along inland tidal waterways. Many roads become impassable. Some damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. Additional details. While no additional flooding is expected on the ocean front, flooding is expected to linger into this evening on back bays, especially Barnegat Bay. Strong southerly winds are forecast to increase again Friday night, which may lead to another round of moderate coastal flooding impacts along Barnegat Bay. Take the necessary actions to protect flood-prone property. If travel is required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth.
Man, y'all have the group.
The following is a coastal flood warning from the National Weather Service for the following counties in New Jersey, coastal ocean and inland ocean. What? For the coastal flood warning, up to 1 foot of inundation above ground level in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways. For the coastal flood watch.
What the scallop?
Inundation above ground level possible in low-lying areas near shorelines and tidal waterways. Where? Ocean and coastal ocean. When? For the coastal flood warning until 10 p.m. this evening. For the coastal flood watch from Saturday morning through Saturday evening. Impacts. At this level, widespread roadway flooding occurs in coastal and bayside communities and along inland tidal waterways. Many roads become impassable. Some damage to vulnerable structures may begin to occur. Back bays, especially Barnegat Bay. Strong southerly winds are forecast to increase again Friday night, which may lead to another round of moderate coastal flooding impacts along Barnegat Bay. Take the necessary actions to protect boat-owned property. If travel is required, do not drive around barricades or through water of unknown depth. The following is a coastal flood watch from the National